we're going to start with our Three.js template. Just remove some of this extra stuff we don't need. And let's make this box semi-transparent. Opacity will be 0.5. See how it's a little bit dimmer. And that's fine. Hang on, I'm going to backtrack. With this basic template, I'm going to make this template available up on GitHub as well, in case you'd like to use it too. We're going to build something that reminds me of retro computer art. That it looks just like this. Hang on. This is taken from a shader toy shader by Hazel Quantock that I came across. I thought was really nice. And I want to rebuild it, but using Three.js instead of writing it in a shader. And so that's what we're going to go through today, step by step. We could start by making this cube that's already rendered a wireframe. However, we can't get those nice thick lines this way. And additionally, as you can see, we've got these lines across each of the faces. Now, to get rid of those lines across the faces, we could try a box helper. Okay. All right. Had to try it out. So let's go back to our cube. Great. So here's my suggestion. We're going to build a cube out of points. And then we're going to, using kind of a Three.js add-on called line 2, we're going to render just the lines which make up that cube instead of rendering the geometry. So I happen to have a file over here, Twisty Cubes 01, which has all that stuff in it already. Here's the positions for that. I'm just going to copy. First of all, get rid of the box and the material and the mesh and that scene.add. Don't need this light either. Get rid of this too. And if I save that, we don't have any errors. We also don't have any render at all. I'm going to add this get positions method. All this does is return the points for each vertex in the cube, face by face. I added this line here, points.map, and like subtract a half the value of 0.5 from each of those positions. And what that does is effectively center the cube. So hang on, let me get the code that creates this. We've got this get box method, which we're going to write bit by bit. We're going to create a line material. We're going to create the geometry and set its positions, and then create this line 2. Let's just grab those imports real quick. Line material, line 2, and line geometry. Add those in here. And here's what that looks like. We have our const material. I actually don't want it to be capitalized. I just want it to be material. And equals new line material. And I'm not passing any. Actually, I am passing props to it. I'm going to say the color is yellow. Anything else? Oh, the line width. Let's make it 2. And that's all for that right now. The next thing I need. Hang on, what do I need next? line geometry. So const geometry is equal to a new line geometry. Great. And then I'll say geometry.set positions, get positions. Thank you, GitHub Copilot. Lastly, const mesh is equal to a new line 2, passing in the geometry and the material. And no, I'm not going to set scale yet. I'm just going to scene.add mesh. Whoa. I think the line width is a little intense. To fix that, I'm going to say material dot resolution dot set. Thank you, GitHub Copilot. The W and H values I grabbed in my template, and now I can control the thickness of those lines. And if I were to let's say I'm going to add a mesh.update method is equal to an arrow function, because why not? And just say thanks, GitHub Copilot. But I'm going to call that here mesh.update. Now we can see that moving around. Already pretty cool stuff. At least to me, this is cool. Let's make this reusable. All this bit here, call it function get box, and we're gonna pass in params, but not yet. And we'll just return that. Return mesh. So that returns the box, and then I could say const box equals get box, and scene dot add box. Now I need to call box dot update. That's why it broke. Great. And if we want a bunch of these, we can just create a for loop. Let's just change this to let, because why not? For let I equal, let's do 10 of them. Actually, I'd rather do num boxes and say const num boxes is equal to 10. I like sorting it out that way instead. It'd be good to add, create like a box holder. It could be a box group, for example. Const box group is equal to a new 3.group. And scene.add, thank you very much. I'd also like to give it an update method. This is another method. Function add boxes, and let's give it num boxes, and then now we've got that. Hang on a second. We want to call that too. Add boxes, pass in 10. And instead of scene.add, we're going to box group dot add box. Oh, I blew it up. What's wrong with it exactly? Unexpected end of input on line 60. Whoops. Oh, there's a curly brace missing. Aha, my for loop. Format that. Oh no, box is not defined. Right. boxes. Sorry, box group dot update. But box group dot update is not defined yet. Let's say box group dot update is equal to an arrow function. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to write. It feels like cheating to hit tab. But I want to loop through all the children, and for each one of them, I don't need this I. And I don't like this. I don't like to update the position, I want to update the rotation. And for now, I could just say box.update. All of them are on top of each other. Let's pass an index into each one of these get boxes methods, index, and then we can add plus index. Oh my. Times index. So now we can see a bunch of boxes. Const r is equal to index times 0.01. I want to update these with a timestamp instead. So in my animate method, I'm going to add a argument. When you use request animation frame, you get an argument for free, and that's this timestamp. Let's call it that. And I like to reduce that timestamp times equals 0.01, and then pass it into the update method, timestamp. And now the box group has this update method. It'll get that timestamp, and it'll pass it to each one of its boxes. Now each of the boxes has that timestamp, and I can use that. Yeah. So we've added a bunch of boxes and we've got them animating, but not animating in the way we like, and we don't have colors or the sizes that give you this beautiful effect here. Let's start with sizes. So each box will have a different scale. I'll say mesh.scale.set scalar, and we're going to say index, hang on, we're going to start with 1.0 plus index times 0.1. So they should all expand out now. 1.0 minus, oh my god, 0.1 minus 0.01. Now all I did was invert this R, which is kind of like a each box's rotation speed. Rotation speed is more clear. If you name your variables well, you don't need comments. Isn't that nice? I think this motion is really weird, and it's hard for me to continue without fixing it. Math.send. So what we'll do is we'll wrap that timestamp that we're using to update the X rotation and Y rotation in a sine function call. And what a sine is going to do is going to take a value and return a value between 0 and 1, negative 1 and 1. And so these will oscillate in a really nice way. And instead of times rotation speed, let's do plus rotation speed. Oh boy, I really blew it up, didn't I? And let's slow that. Well, that's not going to slow it down. We just That's a little bit slower. That's a lot slower. Index plus. Let's call this offset. Const offset is equal to index times some value, 0.1. We'll use that instead of index here. That's much better, isn't it? Let's grab this value. Uncomment this line and paste the value in there. So now it's going to move on two axes like that. I wonder what it looks like to do cosine here. It looks nice with cosine. I think it'll look nicer with sine though. Let's cut that in half, or a third rather. And inverting that again so that the middle cube moves faster than the outer cube. I wonder what if I reduce that offset. I'm going to make it move a little bit less. Just reduce the output of this sine function from -1 to +1 to -0.2 and +0.2. 0.2. Let's change the color of these guys too. So currently we're getting this. I'm going to set that to a new 3.color set HSL, my favorite method on the color object. The hue is undefined. Let's just const hue equals. Well, let's try what GitHub Copilot suggests. Oh, that's nice. I'm just increasing this, so now let's see. I just want that outer purple, the outer cube to be purple, and the inner cube to be red, and then invert that. 1 minus. Almost. I like it. And if we make the lines a little bit thicker and thicker still and add more of them, num boxes will be 16. This no longer works. By increasing this value, I'm pushing the hue range. Actually, I'm decreasing the hue range. If I make this a really large value, we'll only have hues from red to green, and if it's exactly the number of boxes, we'll have red to red again. But by pushing it up slightly, we can push off those reds and just make it red to purple. Our inspiration has purple to red instead of red to purple. And I'd like to 0.8 minus. Okay, I got it. Now the purplest box is in the center instead of on the outside. I kind of like to increase that a little bit. I'd also like to move the whole group around. I'm not using this. Oh, I am using rotation speed. 10 times slower. How about just half as fast? Not bad. Let's make it semi-transparent. And opacity 0.5. And let's create, let's see, blending, I think. Yeah. Can you see the difference there? I think I see a difference. It's slightly brighter where they overlap, I think. I'm actually not so sure about that, but I'm going to leave it on there. Let's make them thicker. And we can actually spread them apart a little bit more too. Actually have them rotate more too. Just want to see what this looks like. Oh yeah, I like that better. We can make the whole object spin around inside this box group method if we want. But I'm not going to. That's kind of it. Some other things we could do with this is to add some post-processing to make it glow. Here's what that looks like. If we add this effects compositor, render pass, and this bloom pass, like so, then set those up, initializing them here. I'm gonna paste this into my code right above the get positions. I don't need this after image stuff. And to see this work, we'll change the animate method where we're calling renderer, and instead it's a compositor, or composer rather. And there you've got some glow on there. So recap what I did. I imported this effects composer. I initialized that effects composer right here and passed in the renderer. I added the render scene, which is just the vanilla render, plus this bloom pass. And right now I've got the bloom strength set to 1. I could drop that down to 0.5. And it's kind of looking like this. I think these are a little more transparent. Let's drop them down to like so. And then I could boost up that bloom again. Oh, it's pretty close. It's not quite there, but it's pretty close. Another thing you could do is play with the color. Instead of just having a rainbow, you could have a random hue, which probably won't look that good. Random. But it's worth just looking at. I don't really like that at all. You could use noise to control the hue value. I think that would be really cool. But too much time. That's it for today. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me present. Be happy to do that. And yeah, as always, hit that subscribe button, and thank you so much. I'll see you next time.